demonstration of that power. But we cannot stop. The banks believe that we will stop. The banks are counting on us to stop. But if there's only a few of us, that's enough. Many of us are part of a movement that was started by one person and 12 other people. And it lasted for over 2,000 years. So we know what a little faith can do. So I'm here today to support my neighbors. I'm here today to add my voice to your voice and our capacity to stand up, our capacity to speak out, our capacity to be for and with people in our community. But more important, to begin to say that this country, that the 99% of us are no longer going to allow the 1% of us to dominate.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask you all, if you would, to join me in solidarity with the Miss Faith Parkers and Miss Herreras all throughout this community and many communities who simply want to be able to live.
That's right.
Who simply want what you want, a better way of life for themselves and their families. Who simply want to be able to have their children come and live in security and safety. I ask you to join me in solidarity.
Thank you.
Let the BMA hear this! Hold on to today. Thank you all. Thank you, Faith, for having faith. And thank you, Mr. Bell, for standing up. Thank you all very much.
Next, I'd like to introduce Mary Gonzalez.
I would like all of you to help me because I am facing an unlawful detainer. I came home from hospital after the 5th surgery this year, and there was an unlawful detainer on my door. And in my home is my 85-year-old mother and a widowed sister. I cannot afford to lose my home. There is no place to go. So at the moment, I'm fighting with an attorney who's helping me, but I've also been taken by 2 attorneys. Robbed by 2 attorneys. And one has just filed bankruptcy, so she won't pay me as an attorney. The other has been this boy. You had one. So if that day comes in which I'm going to be locked out, I'll be calling on all of you to please help me. I'm here to support you, and I am looking for your support.
Moratorium! 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 Moratorium!
Okay, I guess I'll speak too.
All right,
My name's Summer Reese. We've got a lawsuit going against Bank of America right now for trying to foreclose on the home of a friend of mine who that we live in here in South Central on 77th Street. He passed away 6 years ago. And for the next 4.5 years, we could not get Bank of America to even send a monthly statement to his mother, who's now 92 and was 86 at the time he died. She was prepared to pay off the loan in its entirety when he passed away, but we could not get any information from Bank of America. We had to let the house go into foreclosure in order to force them to communicate with us. We've had them in a state of abeyance for many, many months now because we cited the Truth in Lending Act, the California Unfair Competition Law, and several other things showing that you're defrauding an elderly woman by at no point communicating over the debt. So at this point, we don't know what will happen next because I've been in regular communication with Bank of America on the East Coast, and they seem to have taken a step back because of litigation, and they did offer to bring down the mortgage a few months ago by several $1,000s, and we felt they should bring it down by more or cancel it altogether as the majority of what was owed was already paid on it. during the course of the last 6 years. So at some point we may be calling on you as well if Bank of America doesn't just admit they're wrong and get rid of the loan, because it's been paid for and it's their fraud. And that is exactly what they do. They enrich themselves through fraud. They do not communicate with people. They do not send them bills. They do not in any way facilitate a creditor-debtor relationship that is fair. And by doing this, they enrich themselves to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars while decimating these communities, decimating this community, decimating every community in America. And our government continues to bail out these banks. I mean, look at what Iceland did. They told the banks to go shove it. The time has come to save our homes and to tell them this is not fair, and we will insist on transparency, and we'll insist on the law being followed, and we'll insist on fairness and decency from the banks. That's right. So just remember, in every neighborhood, there are houses under foreclosure. Everywhere you live, nobody ever wants to go to their neighbors and say, gee, I'm being foreclosed on.
That's right.
Let me explain to you what happened. But all around you, there are people being foreclosed on. So part of being active is going into your own community and taking away some of the stigma that people personalize, because that is how they get away with this. It is your fault that you're in debt. It's your fault that this is happening to you. You've done something wrong, and nobody wants to talk to you because it might happen to them too, the way these things spread. But that's not the case. There's solidarity. Everybody knows the banks are ripping everyone off. You talk to anyone anywhere, everyone loathes banks at this point. They all know what they're doing. So talk to your neighbors, find out who's in trouble, see if they want to have some activists help them. People aren't used to being active, but they go, wow, you're doing that? You're going to try and save so-and-so's house? Okay. So that's part of what we need to do also, is continue to spread it and to help each other and to make it such a big, unpleasant, embarrassing thing for Bank of America. And all these, that they finally say, gosh, you're right, we need to back off because this isn't flying. They're going to really come after us. So that's what we have to keep doing, keep organizing, keep showing up. It's really important to show up for things like this. These are the things that matter, and let people know that they've happened. Put them on YouTube, make them go viral, publish the phone numbers, tell people to call them, go on the radio, go on television, and tell people to call these banks and leave those messages until their boxes are full, until they can't take it anymore. It is amazing how they start calling you back. I went to Washington, D.C., and suddenly, after I left a message with Bank of America and told them I was going around to the office of the comptroller of the currency that regulates banks, and to Congress, and to the Federal Trade Commission, and to HUD, and you know, nobody's home in D.C. They're actually not physically there. The building is there, but you can't see anyone, which just floored me. Nobody's home, seriously. But the banks actually, they called me back. The event was like, I'm so sorry, I remember you. You're the one, you faxed me the death certificate 6 years ago. I remember you. And I'm like, I remember you too. So, you know, they don't actually forget all of this. They intentionally lose stuff in the system and say,
that's right.
And they'll tell you the departments don't communicate with each other. Well, that's to their benefit, not to ours. And we can force them to conduct themselves the way anyone else in the real world would conduct themselves if they weren't just thieves. Thank you.
She's amazing. Good for you.
I'd like to say my name is Eugene. My name is Eugene, and I'd like to say that when we used to all go down to the convention center, the place was flooded when they said that they wanted to refinance the homes and all like this. Mainly what the banks are looking at is that everybody, as you say, we're ashamed. Everybody's in shame. Oh, I'm going through foreclosure and all like this. Well, this happened to my neighbors. This happened to my neighbors, and I came out, I didn't know what to say because, see, we didn't communicate. You know, because all I knew is he had a good job and his wife had a good job, and all of a sudden, you know, I come out one day and they're standing outside. This was scary for me. This shook me up. Now, this shook up basically the whole community who saw this, and they had to leave. The sheriff's 2 cars came in and all like that. This is not right. The thing is, we all got to get together and march on City Hall. The thing is, I work for DWP, and I'm going to tell you one thing. When we got together and they start talking about our pension, we said, what the? Well, anyway, we all got together and walked in there, and they backed off of us. Now, see, that's what we all got to do. Now, see, everybody here, if we all march on City Hall, they will back off of you.
March on Bank of America.
March
on Bank of America.
I'd like to introduce Carlos Marroquin, who organized this today, so we're all here together supporting.
Matt, is Matt here? Matt?
Matt, Matt Ward!
Matt.
Matt, come here, brother.
Matt.
Yeah, come on, Matt. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all and each one of you for having come out to support these beautiful families here. You know, I know that some of you came from a long ways. We have somebody here representing Merced, California. Where are you?
Here she is. Right here.
She's over here. Seattle, we got people from Seattle. Anybody else? You came from afar off. Thank you. So I'm gonna say thank you. Because the fact is that we understand the problem. We know what the crisis is all about. We know that it's about families. We know that it's about moral issues. And we know it's about crimes that have taken place.
Yes, crime.
Now I'd like to introduce you, Matt. I just met him, but I want to tell you something about him. He gave me a call because he wanted to go and stop those illegal auctions.
That's right. Yeah.
And look at
Norwalk.
this one guy was able to stop an auction on one particular day.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Tell us what you did.
This is Matt Ward.
Hi guys. We went to Norwalk with a small group of people.
Why?
And
Why?
because there was a foreclosure auction there. There are foreclosure auctions every day of the week. And auction.com was holding a giant one and we decided to make a statement there. And we did. Unfortunately, we didn't have quite enough folks to shut it down, but on the way out the door, we tripped over another one because there are 20,000 homes in Southern California alone. The game is to drag down the property values of the neighborhoods so that more people will walk away from their mortgages, so there will be more foreclosures. The banks are attempting to create a tidal wave to bury us, and we cannot allow that to stand.
That's right.
Yeah.
There are foreclosure auctions being held on the doorsteps of courthouses, in front of city halls. That is public space. If we go there and we assemble and we speak our mind, they cannot stop us, and they have to go home. We have that power. That is the power of the people. Next Thursday morning at the Sheraton Hotel on 711 South Hope Street, about 7 blocks from City Hall. Auction.com is going to be holding another auction. Basement of the Sheraton. We need to block the doors, we need to get down in there, and we need to tell them that this is not going to stand. We are the people! Next Thursday, we are meeting at 9:15. A week from tomorrow. A.M. 9:15 a.m. at the corner of Pershing Square, nearest the Pershing Square Metro Station. I believe it's 5th and Main or Olive?
Fifth and Hill.
Oh yes, absolutely. We went to Norwalk initially because there was a disabled veteran who saw on CNN that Occupy Our Homes was working throughout the nation to stop foreclosures. And he called them, wasn't able to reach them, called Occupy Atlanta. They put the wheels in motion immediately, got in touch with us. We had a group drive him over to the courthouse to get his documents filed. Had another group at Norwalk, that was us, set so as soon as we got that information, we could stop it. We saved his house, we moved out, and we shut down another one after that. And we have the power to do that every day. This will not stand. Because we are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. What? 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 We are the 99%. Hi, boo boo. The 99%.
Cheryl Eichleid. I was actually the very first person to get an email from Sandra.